What's going on, everybody? It's V8 back for another one. Beautiful day today. Let's get into it. Today's topic is going to be about why this old Jeep gets so much hate. Now, I know we're living in a time where people are very negative and they have nothing positive to say. They can't be happy for anybody else other than themselves, and I'm not really about that, but when someone's coming at me like that, I have to respond the same way and, tell them to go fuck themselves, because if that's the vibe they're giving off, that's the vibe I'm going to give back. You got to understand, But anyway, most people don't understand that this is a true sleeper. It doesn't matter how old it is, it just matters how much power and torque it has. Mainly the torque. But let's be honest, people, not everybody has a big V8. I don't care if your car is new. Most likely it's a 4-cylinder or V6. I'm just not impressed by that at all. Okay, they don't make vehicles like this anymore. Yeah, the new ones, they have more power, but they're also a lot heavier. They're also not as reliable. Think about each automotive manufacturer as a corporation. Each generation of cars, the next generation has to be cheaper to produce than the previous one, but has to be sold at a higher price. How do you cut costs? You lower the quality. You lower the quality of the parts. The overall build cost is cheaper. I mean, I'll give you a few examples. The C8 Corvette's amazing, but I think the C6 Corvette is better than the C7 Corvette. All around. Looks-wise, engine-wise, I think the LS is better than the LTs. Another example, I feel like the S197 Mustang, the 2013, 2014 GTs, Boss 302s, GT 500s are better than the S550. It's the last true pony car Mustang because it has a solid rear axle. S550 has independent rear suspension. It may handle a little better, but it's not as quick off the line. I mean, it's got more wheel hop, you know what I'm saying? So, some cars the new ones are better than the older ones, but some cars, the older ones are better than the newer ones. So, keep that in mind. But I just don't understand why people are hating. You don't see shit like this all the time. In my whole life, I've only seen about 9 or 10 5.9 limiteds in person, my whole entire life. I didn't even know they existed until YouTube came out in probably late 2015, early 2016. I always thought that the 5.2 Limited was the biggest engine offered in the ZJ. I didn't even know these existed when they came out. That's how rare they are. And I had a 96 5.2 Laredo in my family from 1996 until 2006. My mom got in a bad wreck in her Jeep. She got hit by a shuttle bus, and the Jeep saved her life. That's why I rep these Jeeps, especially the ZJs, the older ones. I've been in one WJ with the 4.7 V8. It was alright. I wasn't too impressed. I know they have cylinder head trouble too. Single overhead cam heads are known for cracking. This is a more stout, more reliable engine than the PowerTechs. Now, I got nothing bad to say about the Hemis, the 5.7s, the 6.1s, the 6.4s, and the 6.2 supercharged. Those are all good engines. It's just, this has one spark plug per cylinder. The Hemis have 2 spark plugs per cylinder, and that's good and bad. I'm not going to get into it, but I don't know. It's just not really my thing. I'm old school. I like the older stuff. It doesn't get old. It just gets more classic and timeless as the years go by, and they get harder and harder to find. They just don't make them like this anymore, but honestly, I got this thing for $800, so I'm not complaining, and I have more than 10 grand in it. And this is my slower Jeep. I have another one, it's a 5.2 ZJ, so, you know, I'm living good. Life is good. Bought this thing from a dude in Belmore, New York, which is one town over from where I live. Crazy story, you know, I met him at the King Cullen parking lot. I waited for him to come outside, gave him my number, told him if you ever want to get rid of it for whatever reason, give me a call, and give me a call first. You know, and 3 years later I got that call. Guy had to move to Arizona for business. He was working for American Airlines. He had to move to Arizona. When I got it, the transmission only had reverse. So it's a 4.6 RE torque flight, 4-speed automatic. It's really a 3-speed with overdrive, but yeah, I got that rebuilt at Banner Transmission in Belmore, which is no longer in business. And while it was there, I went to the Freeport junkyard and picked up an NP242 transfer case, which has 4-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive option. And I had that swapped in there when it was at the transmission shop. So when I got this Jeep, the engine was fully stock. It got a tune-up, you know, new plugs, filters, oil, shit like that. But it had the 242, so I've never driven this with the NP249. Which is, I don't mind that, because that thing sucks, you know. It has a viscous coupler, which eventually fails, and it's NP249 is heavier than the NP242, so I think it's by like a good 30 or 40 pounds too. So. Anyway, I love this Jeep to death. I would love to do heads and cam on it. Could use a little more top end, but it's definitely quick off the line, and it's quick for what it is, and it's quick for how old it is. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. You know, I raced the 335i last night down Sunrise, and I was keeping up with it. He got me once, I got him once. It's probably like a 2013, 2014 model year 335i, I'm pretty sure. Those have the N54, which is the single turbo 3-liter inline 6. Not sure if it was X-Drive all-wheel drive or if it was rear-wheel drive, but it's one of the best races I've ever been involved in. And you know, it's just, I'm trying to have fun here. I'm trying to spread the culture. I'm trying to get, you know, I've gotten a lot of people into cars over the years of my life, and, you know, not looking for anything in return, but I mean, it's nice to be appreciated a little bit, some acknowledgement, some thanks, you know, a little bit less hate, a little bit more, you know, more appreciation would be nice these days, but we live in a world full of hate, so don't expect that. But I don't know, I'm just a classic type of guy. I just like them old school. I like when the body style is small and light and compact. And I would really, you know, last thing I want to do to this is just make it a little lower. Just want to cut a half a coil off the front and a coil off the rear, and I'd be happy. Be happy with it for good, you know. Also, I want to encourage people to get outside. You don't need to quarantine anymore. You want to be outside in the sun getting your vitamin D. It's good for you. You know, we don't get a lot of nice days like this anymore. Oh, there's a WK1 SRT8 Jeep right there.